Good morning. It's a beautiful day and we thought we'd do a quick tour of our little greenhouse. This is an awesome time of year for our greenhouse. It's mid-March. We'll show you what we have going on in there in a second, but before we go in, this is a grape arbor that's in progress. It's in its third year. We're using this grape arbor to shade the greenhouse in the summer. A couple other things out here. We use these barrels, or excuse me, these 5-gallon buckets we use to collect rainwater off of the greenhouse. And then we put them in a barrel on the inside. And then over here, I don't know how well you can see it, but we put a couple solar panels that we use to run a fan on the inside. So let's go see if we can take a look on how it looks in here. It's really only a 6x8 greenhouse. It's made by Palram. It's like a kit. It wasn't too hard to build. We built it in about a day, a couple people. And it really does an awesome job for us. We can grow citrus in here. So this is awesome time because we have some fruit that's ripening now. This is a mandarin orange, and we've got some lemons. This is a Meyer lemon, and it's really cool because this time of year they're in bloom. So there's a honeybee actually came in. We've got some flowers. This thing's going to be loaded with flowers, so this year it should have much more fruit. And then the other thing we love this for, you really don't need a lot of space to start a lot of vegetables. So in this small space right here, these are 50 packs, so we've got 250 vegetable starts going, and these ones are ready to plant. So we're going to try to plant these later today. And then in a given year, we probably start this year at least, we're probably going to start 400 to 500 vegetables in here in this little space. And we also grow microgreens in here. So Holly's behind the camera. She might ask a couple questions. Let's see, cost would probably be one of the questions. These kits run about $600, but we've really done a lot to sort of retrofit it. So you can see in here, we added an extra layer of greenhouse plastic. And then the nice thing about that is it's UV protected. This is just bubble wrap. The big bubbles, and that adds some insulation, but it's not UV protected, so it breaks down. It's about ready to fall apart. The other thing we did is put these shelves in. The number one tip for managing the temperature in here is to get water in it. These things are small, so they overheat really fast, and they also lose a lot of their heat at night really fast. So water is the thing that you want to use. We've got about over 100 gallons of water in just reused milk jugs in here. A lot of people use barrels. You could get 50-gallon barrels like this. We have one of those too. But this is we use for rainwater that we water our plants with. But we like the shelf because then it doesn't take up very much space and we can still have room. Let's see.
Why do you paint the milk jugs?
Oh, so the milk jugs, we paint them a black or a dark color. So we did some other colors for fun, but that absorbs some of the heat during the day, and then because of the light on it. And then the cool thing about it is the way it works is the water gets hot and then it radiates that heat back through the night. The other thing we did to do a similar thing is and I'm not sure how well this works. It's kind of, I'd like to do a side-by-side to compare, but we have a computer fan, just a little small computer fan in here that's connected to those solar panels, which pipes the hot air down, and we have bricks and lava rock under here, so it pipes the air down underneath, and then that hot air radiates back up. So by combining, so we've got the insulation, we've got the pavers, the lava rock, over 100. When this is full, we got about 150 or more gallons of water in here. Combining all that, on a sunny day, it generates enough heat that we wouldn't have to heat at all in here. But in the winter, when it's cloudy, we do have a little space heater that we put in here on an extension cord. just to make sure it doesn't get too cold for the citrus. If you wanted to grow just cool weather crops, you probably wouldn't have to heat it at all ever. But right now we just got our tomato starts and our peppers in here, so we don't want it to get down to 35. So we try to keep it a little bit warmer at night. So cost wise, like I said, this is a $600 kit, but we've definitely spent $1,000 or more by the time we put in the pavers to make it look nice and did the extra things. Let's see, what other questions might you have?
Why don't you run your heater off your solar panel?
The solar panels, there's about 50 watts of solar energy, and that's not enough to run the heater. So that's when we have the extension cord. But the solar panel does run this fan here, and then we also turn this fan on that's running off the solar panel just to get some extra air movement. That's really good for the seedlings, and it makes it so you don't have to harden them off outside so much. We pretty much are going to plant these direct, cover them in the garden now. But we've got a lot of vegetables going here. This is lettuce, spinach, beets, celery, onions, a little bit of tatsoi. We've got radish, mustard, more onion, broccoli, cabbage. And then, like I said, these are tomatoes and peppers. And then we've got much more over there.
Do you worry about it blowing away in the wind?
No, it's really pretty secure. We did do some extra steps. We put in, if you can see this is a 4x6 pressure treated wood that we have anchored down, and then the greenhouse is screwed in to that all the way around. And we've had some major windstorms here in Utah and near the mountains. In May we get a huge windstorm every spring, and it's held up really well.
How long have you had it?
This is, let's see, that's a good question. I think this must be our 3rd year, 4th year. This is our 4th year, yeah. So, you know, we really like it. It's awesome for starting seeds. I don't think we would need heat at all if we mostly just used it for season extension in the spring and the fall. But it's really nice to have in the winter too for microgreens and for the citrus.
Do you grow anything in there in the summer?
It gets too hot in the summer to grow anything in here. We might start a few vegetables in here, warm season ones. But we've put it in a place where it gets a lot of winter sun. And then our neighbors have a giant deciduous tree. It's a sycamore that's to the west of it. So it's kind of nice because that doesn't shade it at all in the winter, but in the summer we get a little bit of shade in the afternoon from that. And then plus that's why we're running the grapevine arbor on the north side to shade it additionally, because the other thing on these milk jugs is they break down pretty fast, so we're replacing these every year. As summer in the heat, and they start to leak, so we have to replace those. But if we get more shade in here, we probably won't have to do that as much. And then we can also put shade cloth on, which we might do this year to start some vegetables in here.
Do the citrus stay in there in the summer?
Oh yeah, so it gets too hot, so that's why they're in pots. We just move the citrus out. I mean, the amount of heat that this thing can generate is crazy. Like, it can be, right now it's 80, almost 80 in here, and it's about 50 outside, but it's morning. It'll overheat pretty easily. So 2 other things that you definitely need is, this is a vent that has a wax cylinder that opens itself. That'll help you with the heat. And we actually put another vent in here. We don't know how well it's going to work yet, but we got that in, so hopefully some air will come in there. But we have to open the door pretty early if it's a sunny day. You get a lot of heat in here. And then anyway, it still gets really hot, so even in the winter, in say January, it could be 20 degrees outside, but if it's sunny, it'll be 70 or 80 in here. So that's how you can get some of that heat and hold it over to the next day with the milk jugs and the other stuff. Well, so I hope you enjoyed the tour. This is our little greenhouse. Thanks for watching Foodscaping Utah, and grow your own.